Welcome to final exam review for college algebra trig. This says write this polynomial as a product of linear factors. So first I have to find a factor. Okay, I can't just factor this because it's not to the second power. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is figure out the possible factors. And that's when you take the factors of the constant divided by the factors of the leading coefficient. And it's always plus or minus. My factors of 16 are 1, 16, 2, and 8, or 4 and 4, but I only need to write 4 one time. And the factors of the 1 that's here are simply 1. Okay, now, so when I divide all these by 1, I'm left with positive or negative 1, 16, 2, 8, and 4. If I look at my polynomial, they're all positives. So I know for sure I'm going to have a negative in there if I want it to be 0. I'm going to plug random numbers in. It does not matter where I start. You may get lucky, you may not. I'm just going to start with f of negative 1. This will be the only one where I actually show you what I'm putting in the calculator. Okay, all I'm plugging in is negative 1. Now be careful, it's a negative number raised to a power, so it has to go in parentheses when you put it in your calculator, or you're going to get the wrong answer. Okay, when I plug in negative 1, I'm typing this in my calculator. When I do this, I end up with 15. So this is not a factor. Remember, it's a factor. If I plug it in, I get out 0. Okay, let's try f of negative 8. I'm going to plug in negative 8. Remember, I showed you the shortcut. Instead of retyping it, all you had to do was go over it, hit enter, and then replace the negative 1s that I plugged in with negative 8s. When I do that, I get negative 272. So that didn't work. Let's try f of negative 4. When I plug in negative 4, I end up with 0. So f of negative 4 is definitely a factor. Now where do we go from here? You're going to use synthetic division. Okay, that's where you take the number that gave you a 0, and using your coefficients up here, making sure that I go in order from third power, second power, first power to no power. If I was missing one, I'd have to add in a 0. Okay, I'm going to do my synthetic division. You always bring the first number down. Any number that's on the bottom row is going to get multiplied by this negative 4. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, and when I add them up, I get 0. Negative 4 times 0 is 0. When I add them up, I get 4. And negative 4 times 4 is negative 16, which gives me 0 when I add them up.